Hello and welcome to Health Matters on Channels Television. Thanks for joining us. I am Mary Alale Yusuf. Diabetes is a chronic metabolic disease characterized by elevated levels of blood sugar, which leads over time to serious damage in the body. According to the World Health Organization, the number of people with diabetes rose from 108 million in 1980 to 422 million in 2014. That's more than double. The prevalence of diabetes among adults over 18 years went up globally from 4.7% in 1980 to 8.5% in 2014. Close to half of the deaths attributable to high blood sugar occur before the age of 70 years. WHO projects that diabetes will be the 7th leading cause of death in 2030. On the show to discuss diabetes is a professor of medicine and a consultant endocrinologist at the Lagos State University College of Medicine. She is Professor Antonia Ogbera. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on your program.
Okay, just for the sake of people who may not know, let's quickly run through the types of diabetes that we have.
Okay, there are actually 4 types of diabetes, though usually we talk about 2. We have the type 1 diabetes and the type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes has its onset in children, usually people below 30 years of age. Then type 2 diabetes, usually the onset is in adults, so we have it usually in people above 30. Now I use the terminology usually because sometimes you could actually have people below 30 years, adolescents having type 2. Then we have gestational diabetes mellitus, which is a form of diabetes that occurs or develops in women who are pregnant. Then we have a broad group called others. This could be due to damage to some organs in the body, like the pancreas, then drugs such as steroids that are used in many conditions such as bronchial asthma.
Okay, so do they have symptoms that are common to them?
Diabetes across board will present the same way. The commonest form of diabetes is the type 2 diabetes, which make up like 95 to 98% of everybody living with diabetes.
Okay, so that's the major one.
That's the major one. So presentations, 3 ways. 1, there could be no symptoms.
Oh.
Yes, that is why we say people should go for opportunistic screening. 2, they could present with symptoms. What are these symptoms? They tend to urinate a lot, they drink a lot of water, they lose weight, they could have blurring of vision, and they are prone to developing infections. Then 3rd way of presentation is complications. These people have had diabetes because they didn't know, no symptoms. They come one day to the hospital, they have a wound on their foot, or they have impaired vision. Some actually go blind. Some have stroke for the first time, and it is detected that they have diabetes. So those are the 3 ways diabetes could present. But for the type 1, which occurs in children, they tend to present with symptoms. They really don't go through like this silent phase where there are no symptoms. But across board, the majority of people living with diabetes have type 2 diabetes.
Okay, now let's first examine the numbers. The numbers, in the intro that I made showed that there was a significant rise of diabetes in those above 18, just above 18.
Yes.
It looks as if more children, or should we say more adolescents
yes,
are having diabetes than the adults.
Yes.
What's responsible for that?
1, 2, 3, unhealthy lifestyle. First, unhealthy lifestyle. Second, unhealthy lifestyle. Third.
And that's it?
That is it.
Were we living healthier before now?
Yes, of course we were living healthier before now. We were eating the traditional foods. We were walking around, but most of us in the urban cities, what do? We don't eat before we go to work. Then we get to work, we go to the fast food and take a calorie-dense meat pie. We take the soft drinks, and we don't really regard this as a full meal. In Nigeria, we take soft drinks and snacks and said, "I've not eaten. This is just a snack," and go and eat a regular meal.
Meanwhile, you've already taken all the calories you need.
And sedentary habits is so prevalent amongst our adolescents and our youth, so to say. They engage in football matches through the what do you call
the
this?
phone.
Through the phones, you know. Instead of going outside to play football, they are inside the house watching the football, taking snacks and snacks and snacks. After taking the snacks, they go for their proper meal. So at the end of the day, they take in calorie dense food. But now, is it every adult who engages in unhealthy habits that will develop diabetes? No. Sometimes there's a background family history or some other risk factors. So if you have a background family history of diabetes and some other risk factors, and you engage in unhealthy habits, there's a high propensity for such a person to develop diabetes. I think that's why we're seeing that.
So in other words, you watch yourself. If your mother had it, or your father has it, or something like that.
Definitely. So we are preaching prevention. You know, it's not more of treatment now, but more of preventative strategies, because we're in a resource-constrained economy. That is just the truth. How much of the budget goes in for health? So we want to pass a message of prevention.
Are you
because it's better for people not to get there
to prevent than to cure?
Yes, the preventive strategies are actually cheaper.
Let me talk a bit about gestational diabetes. In this case, the mother has diabetes only because she's pregnant, right?
Yes.
Can this in any way make the child have diabetes?
Good question. Let me explain gestational diabetes. It's a form of diabetes seen in women, and what happens in pregnancy, the placenta produces some hormones that work against insulin. You know, insulin tends to keep our blood glucose within normal range. Now, not every woman will develop gestational diabetes, but there are women who are at risk. Any woman who is above 25 and is pregnant is at risk. Any woman who is hypertensive, any woman who was obese or overweight before getting pregnant is at risk. Now, when a woman develops gestational diabetes mellitus, the baby is at risk if the condition is not detected.